Today, I'm going to explain the movie called BFG. So without wasting time, let's start the explanation. At the beginning of the story, we see a beautiful 10-year-old girl, and her name is Sophie, and she lived in an orphanage because both of her mom and dad were dead. Sophie had a disorder called insomnia. That's why she would stay awake the whole night and walk all around the orphanage. She also had a fear like all the other kids. They knew that there was a giant who comes at night and takes away the kids with him, and then he eats them after killing them. One night, when everyone was asleep, then she heard the voice of a cat. She couldn't sleep. That's why she went outside to take a look at it. When she went to the balcony and looked outside, she saw that some cat had turned over the trash can. And then suddenly she sees a giant's hand from the back of the building, and it fixed the trash can. And then a giant came out from the back of the building. Sophie got scared after looking at the giant, and the giant also sees her. Sophie got so scared and went to her bed so fast, but the giant put his hand through the window and takes her with him and left. We know that the giant doesn't come out in front of humans. Whenever someone comes in the road, then he somehow manages to hide himself, and then leaves the place without getting noticed by anyone. And then the giant took Sophie with him to another world. This was the planet of giants, which means only the giants live there. Sophie saw that it's a very big house, and everything around here is so big as the giants. Sophie tried to run away from there. Then the giant saw her and said, "There's no way to get out of here. That's why she can never get out of there." And then Sophie got scared after hearing this. She noticed that it was an old giant. The giant puts her on a pan and said that, "I'm so much hungry that I can't control it now." Then Sophie thought that the giant was about to kill her and eat her. Right then, she heard the laughter of many other giants. Sophie asked him, "Are there any other giants here?" Then the old giant answered, "Yes, there are more giants here, and all of them are man-eaters, which means they eat humans without even cooking them, because they have no mercy for humans. Whoever comes to them, they eat them." Sophie got more scared after hearing this. Then she asked the old giant, "Are you about to kill me and eat me right after?" Then the old giant said, "No, I don't eat humans, because I'm a vegetarian. I'm not carnivorous, which means I don't eat meat." That old giant only eats vegetables, which are not delicious at all. But still, he doesn't want to eat humans. This concludes that the old giant was a good-hearted giant. Sophie asked him, "If you don't eat humans, then why did you take me here?" Then the old giant answered, "Because you saw me and you could tell someone about me. That would leave me in life-ending danger. Everyone could know about us, and then they would come here, and they would kill the other giants. That's why I had to take you here with me. Now you will pass your whole life with me." Then Sophie said, "No, I will run away from you." The old giant said, "No, you will not try to go away from here, because all the giants, which are outside, will not show any mercy to you." And then he puts her in a basket and tells her to have a little rest there, but Sophie could not sleep. Then she saw that the old giant took out some big bottles out of his bag. In that bottle there was something that was so shiny. Then Sophie asked him, "What's inside the bottle?" The old giant said that inside the bottle was a dream. And Sophie said, "That will not be beneficial for me, because I can never dream. How can I ever dream? I can't even fall asleep." And then the giant started to read a book that Sophie had. They had so many stories. The giant was reading all the stories. And then Sophie fell asleep listening to the stories. And then the old giant took out the bottle and get some dreams out of it. But Sophie was awake then. She saw that the giant was asleep. That's why Sophie used the chance and went outside and tried to run away from there. But another big giant caught her. It was so much bigger than the old giant. Then Sophie said to that giant, "Please, leave me. Please let me go from here." But the giant didn't listen to her and then ate her. And right then, Sophie woke up from sleep, which means she was dreaming. After waking up, she tells the old giant, "I know you did all of this, because I can never sleep or dream. But the dream you made me dream was so terrifying." Then the old giant told her that he had to do that, because he wanted to make sure that she understood that there's so much trouble waiting for her outside. "It will be good for you that you stay with me here." The old giant told her that all the other giants were so much bigger than he is. He's nothing compared to them. He's so tiny and old. When they were talking, then another big giant came inside, And yes, that giant was so much bigger than the old giant. He came in and asked him, "Who are you talking to?" The old giant said, "No, I was not talking to anyone." And then Sophie hid behind a vegetable. The bigger giant had a cut in his finger, and that's why he was there, to get a bandage from the old giant. The giant got the smell of human and started to search for it. And then Sophie hides inside the vegetable that the old giant was eating. The bigger giant took the vegetable and got the smell of human from it. That giant doesn't eat vegetables, but from that vegetable he was getting a nice smell of human, because she was inside of it. The giant was about to eat the vegetable. And then the old giant said, "Stop, you can't eat this vegetable, because you don't eat vegetables." Then the giant said, "Yeah, I forgot, I don't eat vegetables. That's why I was about to eat this." Then he throws the vegetable away, and Sophie lived this time. Then the giant left. Right then, the old giant was getting ready to go somewhere. Sophie asked him, "Where are you going?" The old giant didn't answer. Sophie kept asking him again and again. Then he replied, "I'm going to catch dreams." Sophie said, "I want to go with you. Take me with you." But the old giant denied to take her with him, because all the other giants are sleeping outside. If they get up, they could see her and it would be very dangerous. The old giant didn't want to take any risks, but Sophie insisted so much to go with him, that the old giant took her with him. When they came outside, they saw all of the other giants were sleeping. They were trying to go through them. Right then, the giants woke up and they caught the old giant and started to beat him so bad. They asked him, "Where are you going?" The old giant answered them, "I'm going to work." Then the other giants said, "You will not go anywhere. If you go to the human planet, they will get to know about us, and that could leave us to risk our lives." When the other giants were bullying the old giant, then Sophie hides in a car. Then the old giant looked at the sky and said, "Look." Then all of the giants looked at the sky and saw that the sky was covered with clouds, and it could rain any moment. Actually, the giants were so scared of water. Right then, it started to rain, and the giants got scared and were running away. Then, when they got the chance, the old giant and Sophie ran away from there. And then they were climbing up the mountain. While climbing, they passed so many clouds, and Sophie saw the stars and said, "The stars are looking so beautiful." The old giant said, "I can even hear the voice of those stars. I can hear everything. Even I can hear the voice of insects. I can even hear the voice of the trees. I can hear everything of the world." And then Sophie said, "I can't believe your words." Then the old giant said, "You have to believe me, because this is the truth." Then they reached a lake, and there they saw a very big and beautiful tree. The old giant jumps into the water, and Sophie also jumped along with him. Like this, they reached the other side of the lake. That was the world of a dream. And here, dreams drop from the tree like water droplets. The old giant comes here to catch these dreams. Both of them caught so many dreams. There was both good and bad dreams among those dreams. After catching dreams, they were returning to home. Now they were such good friends. Both of them were so happy with each other. The old giant told her about his misery, and all the other giants called him Shorty, because he was a tiny giant. But he is so happy about one thing that he had a very good friend who called him Big Friendly Giant. And then Sophie said, "From now on, I will also call you the Big Friendly Giant, in short, BFG." After catching dreams, they came to the city and were roaming around it. All the kids were sleeping in their rooms. BFG gave them good dreams while they were asleep, so that they get happy in their dreams. From this, we realized that the BFG was such a good and kind-hearted giant. He catches dreams from the world of dreams and spreads them among everyone, so that they can get a little happy even in their sleep. Sophie asked the old giant, "Did your mom and dad tell you about dreams?" The old giant said that giants have no parents. When Sophie asked him about his age, he said that he is as old as the universe, because the giants were created on the same day as the universe, but they hide themselves in this world from humans so far behind the walls. And then they started to walk again to come back. But suddenly, Sophie asked him, "Where's my blanket?" Actually, she had left her blanket in the giant's world. BFG got so terrified after hearing this. He told Sophie, "I cannot take you with me anymore, because now the other giants know that I have a human with me." Then BFG told her a story. Many years back, a beautiful little innocent kid like you saw me, and I took him with me. That kid taught me to study, and the jacket that you're wearing right now is from my little friend. But it was too late before I could get him to his planet. I don't want the things that happened to my little friend to also happen to you, because you are also my friend. After saying this, BFG left her there and was about to leave, but Sophie insisted not to stay there anymore. But this time, the BFG didn't listen to Sophie. He wanted to take her to the orphanage and leave. Since Sophie disagreed to stay in the orphanage, that's why she jumped from the balcony, because she knew that the BFG would catch her. And the BFG did that too. The old giant caught her, and he had to listen to Sophie, even though he didn't want to. That's why he came back to the giant's world with Sophie. But there, all the other giants were waiting for the old giant, because they knew that the old giant had a human with him. When they saw the old giant, they asked him, "Who's that human, and where is the human?" And then, with the help of the blanket's smell, they began to search the whole room of the old giant, and began to destroy everything. BFG burned the blanket that had the smell of Sophie, and told the other giants to get out of his room. Then Sophie saw the photo of the queen on the wall, and after seeing the photo, she got an idea. She told the BFG to make a dream for the princess, and in that dream, tell her that giants have another world, and the giants of that world are so violent, they catch little kids and eat them after killing them, and add both of us in the dream, so that the princess could recognize us when she sees us. BFG made a dream about those giants according to Sophie, and in that dream, he added Sophie and himself. He also added all the lost kids from that city, and then, with those dreams, BFG went outside the house of the princess, and then he spread the dreams while the princess was asleep. The princess dreamed about exactly what BFG wanted to show her, and then the princess woke up and got scared because that dream was so terrifying. In that dream, the giants were eating kids. The princess told her caretaker about the dream. Then the caretaker said, "Don't worry, it was just a nightmare." But right after, when the caretaker read the news, she was shocked. She told her that yesterday so many kids from the city went missing from their homes, exactly as your dream. And then the princess said, "Open the curtains." After opening the curtain, she saw Sophie was standing in the window. BFG added all of these in the dream. Sophie told the princess about BFG, and made her promise about not harming BFG. And then BFG came to the princess and shows his respect by bowing before her. The princess keeps her promise. The funny thing here is that the giants say everything differently, such as he called the princess as Marjani. The princess gave him so much good food and called him respectively. Then BFG told her about the world of giants, and told her that there are so many giants, who are so violent and man-eaters. They catch little kids and then eat them. After hearing this, the princess promised to help them. She prepared her force, who went to the giants' world with the help of the BFG. They made a plan and stopped somewhere, because they want to attack as planned. The plan was that BFG will make some dreams. In those dreams, they will regret and be ashamed of their acts. And the BFG made some dreams like this one and put them in a jar. But when she was about to spread those dreams, he remembered that he left the dream spreading device in the princess's house, and it was too dangerous to go in front of them. But Sophie shows bravery and went to spread the dream among the giants where the giants were sleeping. But before she could break the jar, the leader of the giants woke up. When the leader of the giants was about to catch Sophie, right then, Sophie breaks the jar, and then the dreams get into the head of all the sleeping giants. After they woke up from sleep, they were so regretful about their bad work. But the leader of the giants was awake, so he was not having any regrets. And that's why he attacked Sophie, and right then, BFG came in front of him. Since BFG was so tiny, that's why the leader of the giants took him in his hand, and he was about to hit BFG. Then the army of the princess came there and caught all the giants, and then took them with their helicopters, and dropped them in deep ocean near an island. The island had water all around it. Since the giants were afraid of water, that's why they were not able to run away from there. And then they were stuck there for the rest of their lives. The princess spread there some vegetable seeds for the giants, so that the giants could grow vegetables for them and eat the vegetables to live. But the giants didn't like vegetables at all, but they had to eat vegetables to live in the island. And then we saw Sophie. She doesn't live in the orphanage anymore. Now she lives in the Princess Palace. Here she is so happy. She can talk to BFG whenever she wants, because BFG can hear all the sounds of the world. And BFG was totally in the giant's world. There, he grows various kinds of vegetables, and he was living there in peace and harmony. Every morning after waking up, Sophie comes to the window and says good morning to the BFG, and BFG can hear it, and he replies. And just like this, a beautiful story ended.